Gabriel, Michael, thanks so much for joining us today. Super excited to have you on the podcast. I've been looking forward to this for a while now. And it's so great to have you guys on, especially because, we have some work history together, and I've seen the continued growth and development and evolution of your organization over the years. And it's just so neat to be able to highlight exactly what you guys are doing and help you guys share your story a bit more. So really excited to dig into some of the nuts and bolts of, the content today. And so with that, I'll take a brief moment and provide a high level introduction, and I'll let you guys, add or make some contributions to your background, but keeping it short and simple. You guys have really taken on this what you're doing in the security industry and growing it and developing it in a different way. And so you're what I've seen is what the work you've done to build out an awesome and engaged organization and company culture. It's been really neat. You guys, have really engaged team meetings. You do cool offsites. I was able to join you for an offsite where you guys did some paintballing. So that was a lot of fun. And really you're starting to make a pivot away from, just offering traditional security services in the industry. And you guys have started this whole new evolution with security camera trailers. So, it's kind of a really exciting time for you both. Diving into, some, personal components. Gabriel, you're kind of a globetrotter, and Michael, you're an avid cyclist. So, I'll pass it over to you and let you guys add anything else that you may want.
Yeah, well, thank you for that introduction, Dominic. To add to that, Michael and I have been in this business together, going on 12 years, starting, specifically as more of a contracting-based business, and then about a year and a half ago, I've really dived deep into our new brand, which is Mr. Security Camera Trailers. That is our complete mobile division of the MSC brands here. Offering that quick deploy security whenever a client needs it. We could have a system deployed within 24 hours. So really, really neat stuff. To add to that, and off to you, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, going back, 10, 12, maybe 13 years now, we've been doing this, and it's so much more than just security. We've really become part of the local community here, where we discovered that it's more than just selling widgets. It's actually helping people. And that's I think, the main core focus of what we do. We want to help our fellow community here. And it's just a really good feeling to have when you actually realize what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you guys have not only, in supporting and helping your customers, but you've also participated as a company in some really great programs. You guys had that, what was it called, Gabriel, where you help with the backpacks for the back to school for the kids?
Yeah, we had a great partnership with Ticket to Dreams. We've been working with them for many years now, and I mean, a wide variety of local charities. One that we're a big advocate in for this year is the Sac Century Ride. This is something that Michael is a big advocate for. He's on the committee there putting that together with the Sacramento Rotary Club, and now we're one of the main sponsors of that event. I just giving back, and that particular charity, I believe, supports the Women in Children's Crisis Nursery here in Sacramento. So really, really cool event, and a good way for us to get back to our local community.
Excellent. So I would love to begin our podcast with you guys taking us through kind of the origin story of the company, and also highlighting the way you guys found this opportunity and niche within the security camera trailers.
Yeah, I mean, taking it back to the humble beginning roots, who Michael and I met back in 2013, I think. It's kind of a blur at this point, 2012 maybe. And, quickly found the synergies of the like-minded individuals, right? Saying, wow, this is somebody I could work really well with. And when we partnered up in 2013 and really brought Mr. Security Camera to fruition, It started out as kind of humble beginnings. We were originally working out of my garage back in 2013. We built momentum really, really quick. In 2014, we got our first office. Funny story about that. I was just going through some pictures last week of Michael and I in that office, and we had built out some walls. We thought we were really cool. Security guys doing construction, by the way. It's a little scary sometimes. we had great supervision that made sure the wall was sound. I'll promise you guys that. But looking back and seeing that first office, where we came from, and getting our first employee, that all started to grow rapidly quick in 2014. And I mean, from there, we were primarily a residential-based service company, providing video surveillance for residential families. And a lot of times in that particular market, it's a very reactive type of market space to be into. Something happens, maybe a break-in or vandalized car, broken window, etc., and they call and they need security now. And Michael and I both had a lot of passion being a part of our community to assist those that felt vulnerable, that needed help, and they needed it now. And we built a really good brand and name around that here in Sacramento, and that was Mr. Security Camera. Changed around 2017, we made a pivot within the business to primarily offer security for commercial and government services. Now, although we're still very passionate about security, it took that reactive, we're really helping our local neighbor, to something a little bit different. Now, still providing safety and security for our communities, still providing that need for our neighbors, so to speak, but just in a different manner. To fast forward to today, we got into the mobile security in about 2023, and it wasn't necessarily reinventing the wheel. We saw a need from our clientele base being into new construction, multifamily housing, shopping centers, strip malls, etc., providing on-premise security solutions. It really went hand in hand to offer that mobile. So I went to Michael. He's our chief technology officer. I went to Michael. I said, Michael, I've got a dream. How can we make it happen? And again, he's the technology piece. So I'll kind of pass it on to him about, what he did to bring the vision to fruition and really get us our first unit out on the road.
It's kind of funny. There's a part of the origin story he skipped over, and it was at the very beginning. At the time, we weren't partners. He was a customer of mine. I had an import distribution business of security devices. And I saw, and there's a little age difference, not a huge age difference here, but I saw this young guy coming in every day, and he was buying consistently. And I was like, wow, you're doing pretty good business here. And one day I just asked the question, hey, are you licensed by chance? And he's like, you need to be licensed for this? I was like, oh, yeah. And that's actually where the real origin started. I was a licensed contractor. We joined forces at the time. And we haven't looked back since. We've been full speed ahead. And it was a funny, small nuance of that story, but it was a start of not just the business, but a relationship that's lasted. And to this day, we're great friends. Our families share everything together, and it's an awesome place to be.
Wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. From like a leadership, standpoint, having a partnership, can be, challenging and difficult, and you guys each have some very unique strengths. So I would love for you guys to kind of share a little bit about, the origin, dive a little bit deeper into the origin story of your relationship and kind of how it's progressed over time and like how you've learned from each other.
Leadership, that's at least in my experience in life, is something that's not really taught. It's something you have to learn through and really go through the pains of making the wrong turns and wrong decisions along the way. And we definitely have two different styles, or at least originally. I'm probably I'm not going to say a pushover, but I'm a nice guy to people, and Gabe, he's a little more stern on the way we do our leadership skills. And at least from my perspective, both methodologies aren't really the best. I think I went into it with the idea that leaders push their team. They really drive them, crack that whip and make it happen while still being kind of a nice guy. And it didn't really get anything done. And I think Gabe came to me one day and said, "Hey, I found this guy online. I think we really should listen to him." And it's this guy named Dave Ramsey. He has this whole leadership program. And that's where I learned what leadership is all about pulling my team, being an integrated part of the team as a whole. And a lot of lessons were learned in that time frame. And I'm sure Gabe can probably fill in the pieces I missed there.
Well, good point there, Michael, about just kind of the transition from being a boss to a leader here at MSC, and the different styles that Michael and I bring to the table kind of offer that yin and yang to the company balance here. Michael has, a little bit more compassionate side to him when it comes to hearing the team and working with them, and does act as a really good liaison to kind of filter out some of the nonsense that may not need to be brought to my table per se. I have taken a leadership approach as, you have to pull the team, right? They're behind you. You've got to charge this thing forward. And that was a pivotal moment for me in my career when I started really diving into some of that. That started in about 2019 for me, and really helped the company elevate and grow, and has continued that growth since then. And really, I took a stance of, instead of cracking the whip where people are expendable, I'll just hire another one. It's okay. You quit today, we're going to fire you tomorrow. No big deal. We're just going to replace you, to how can we all work together within this organization? And if we have true thoroughbreds on our team, we want to keep them running with thoroughbreds. We want to make sure that we're getting them the resources they need, the training they need, as well as the support that they need from leadership. And with Michael and I, as I mentioned, that yin and yang really helps that balancing of providing the support, providing the resources for training, and providing that ongoing encouragement. We do some of that as well with our team building events, Dominic, as you mentioned in the beginning, whether it be running around with our guys, giving them some guns, paintball guns, that is, letting them shoot at us, and also figuring out how we can strategize. And, one of the biggest takeaways that we bring to our team for that specific event is strategy. We have to work together to take out our opponent. How are we going to do that on an actual battlefield? Again, with paintball guns. And when we work together, we could build things unimaginable that one or two people can never build if it's just a small group. And that's really, part of the teamwork and cohesive environment that we're putting together here.
I think the one where the team really came together and through these ways of leadership was during a challenging time with COVID. It was definitely a test of our ability to lead the team through times that neither of us have ever experienced. And it was a lot of self-reflecting, a lot of self-learning and discovery during that time period. But I think we came out a lot stronger on both the leadership and the team as a whole. I mean, would you agree with that, Gabe?
Most certainly. Yeah. I mean, what didn't kill us made us stronger for sure. And COVID was one of those testaments of time of, who's going to survive throughout this. And we stuck together. Our team stayed in. MSC never missed a beat of work. Unfortunately, I guess sides of the coin you look at. But it did. It made us grow stronger and more resilient. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks so much for sharing all that. And like I myself, I've been in some of those team meetings that you guys host. And one of the things that did really stand out to me is just how engaged everybody is. I mean, you have technicians there who are bringing forth ideas and saying, hey guys, this is the issue I ran into and this is what I did to solve it. And so make sure you watch for X, Y, Z. And just having that, collaboration is really awesome. And also, testament to you both, like when it comes to the benefits programs that you guys are rolling out, you're really encouraging your staff and, trying to pull them forward to do what's right for them, for themselves, so they can support, their family and the people that they love and care about. So like having that, collaborative and engaged, culture is really unique and really special. And I think a testament to how you guys are leading the organization. So, and again, it's been really fun for me to be able to see that. And so, in terms of like inspiration, it sounds like you guys are really inspired by, serving your community, helping, to empower your employees. What other sources of inspiration would you say you guys draw upon?
That's a great question. I mean, I look back and say for me personally, what keeps me going, one of the big things is family, right? A very family oriented person myself. And, when I say, okay, what am I doing this for? Yes, I'm doing this for my community. I want to make sure that, I can help serve the community in ways unimaginable. But in addition, my driving force is that family behind me that keeps me going, keeps me running. So something that stands true with me for sure.
Very similar. For me, the biggest driving motivating force behind this is just being an active member of our society. For many years of my younger life, I was literally on the sidelines watching it go by, not realizing to maximize, just overall happiness is to play a part in our society and being that active member.
One question tied into that is, Simon Sinek talks about like starting with the why. Like, do you guys have that really clear, like, core purpose you guys have kind of like dialed in that you share with your group? Do you guys really help keep you pointed north? Like, have you guys documented that? Because you both have a lot of really cool stuff you're talking about of that bigger, that higher calling, that bigger purpose, larger than just selling widgets. Can you guys share anything around how you've coalesced around kind of that greater purpose that you guys share?
Yeah, I mean, great question. Is it clearly documented? That's always a funny one here. It's changed for us a few times over the years of the why, and as it does change, as I refer to it as the season that we're in, and sometimes those seasons are a little bit longer. And as we're pivoting right now into the new vision of MSC, it hasn't quite changed the why, but it helps us express that to our team of the why. Because to connect these dots, I mentioned in the beginning, when we did residential services, there was a much clearer why. Why are we providing this? And it was really to provide that instant safety and security for our neighbor, for our community. And now that we're getting back, I don't want to say into residential, but we're getting into what we refer here at MSC as quick deploy security solutions. We're providing that same why that we once had in the beginning. That was lost. It gets easily to be lost when you're doing government contracting and you're just working off spreadsheets and bids, and we're just crunching numbers to support our local community. Yes, but now the why is pivoting back to our original root of why are we doing this? Above and beyond, providing security, it's really to provide that safety and comfort that people want to feel, whether they're going to a shopping center, whether it's protecting a job site, protecting a strip mall that needs that immediate security. It's much more than just, bidding a project for the government, selling them a system and walking away. That people need in our community to feel safe as they're traveling, as they're shopping, spending time with loved ones at public events, etc. So,
love it. No, that's fantastic, and thanks for bringing us through that. I mean, I would love for you to share a little bit more about the security industry as a whole, kind of some of the trends that you're seeing, and what you're doing to make sure that you're serving your customers well.
Yeah, great question. I mean, the security industry, it's not going away anytime soon, number one. Number two, video. Let's talk about video for a second, as we are Mr. Security Camera still. Video has become such a commoditized product, right? Everybody now offers video solutions. I was driving down the road the other day and saw a AAA vehicle that said home security on it. And I'm like, AAA, I thought they were my insurance provider, not my security provider. And so it goes to show that everybody, especially on the video side, are really trying to get into this market space from trying to provide a proactive offering. So what we've done is to differentiate ourselves in a cluttered environment, specifically on the video, is number one, maintaining our expertise. And that's that Mr. Security Camera name we stand proud to mention. So we maintain our expertise in video. but providing the other services that are needed to really enhance what was a traditional video system to make it more of a proactive deterrent. And that's our remote guarding services. So now we've taken your existing video cameras and said, let's monitor those. And we can monitor them through our AI-based analytics. We can create just about any statement you can think of. You know, if a person crosses this line and stays in this box for X amount of seconds, we want to trigger our monitoring center to pick up that camera and then project an audio announcement. Now, all of our audio we also do with live human, something else to separate ourselves from other people in the video space. And we can do this service. We can tie in this remote guarding service with access control if we're managing that for the client. So hypothetically, we can have a remote attendant essentially. So if you're coming into a multifamily space that might have a entryway, a lobby per se, if traditionally that would be manned 24/7 to allow access at night, we can do that all remotely now through our remote guarding and a remote attendant service. That is where the push right now is for video. You know, we can keep using the word AI as a big buzzword. Of course, everybody's got AI integrated into it. But really, it's how we're handling, whether it's the AI triggers, but really, what are we doing with that video to make it most effective? But the trends right now, to shorten that, is really just remote guarding, taking your cameras, taking them to a proactive platform instead of looking at them after the fact.
I think I want to add to that. Oh,
no, please go ahead, Michael.
Oh, just the trends of the industry and in the world at large is to utilize these AI tools, and it's a buzzword that's great. And we're using it to leverage our services to better serve our customers, provide a better end result with security. But one thing we're not doing is we're not using AI for the customer service side of things. We are still taking the old-fashioned approach that we're here. When you call it, you're going to get a live person on the phone. You're going to get a key member of the team on that phone to work you through your whatever challenge you're going through and provide a solution. So though we're utilizing AI to benefit, but at the same time, we're staying old-fashioned in the way we do business. And that's, you know, face-to-face in front of our customers and actually being there when they need us. And I think that's an important point to make.
No, absolutely. That's a wonderful distinction. I mean, I think there's like tons of possible applications of AI and ways that it'll help, you know, create, you know, additional cost savings and productivity improvements. But, you know, with that also comes a very real risk that you're not delivering on, you know, the value proposition and having the right supports, you know, to the customer. So it's really neat to hear those, you know, specific components of what you're doing to, you know, make the most of those productivity, but, you know, maintaining the high end quality of serving your clients well.
Well, having been in the service industry for a long time, you know, I think there's always going to be a desire for that human connection, that human touch. Like, no matter how efficient a company can get it at a robot or something to like answer questions for you, I know for myself, I get frustrated if there's not an avenue to talk to a real human who can actually like provide me the support I need. No, I don't care how smart the robot is that's on the other line. Like, I still will want that human touch. And I think that's something that it's just because we are communal creatures. You know, we want to connect with each other. So that's great. You guys are doing that. Keeps the service high.
And changing gears back to leadership again. So it sounds like the Dave Ramsey leadership program that you went through was very pivotal in your perspective about, you know, helping to lead your team and being successful in that regard. Is there anything else that has helped shape your perspective on leadership and helped you guys develop some of your tools in the way you lead your team?
Yeah, great question. I mean, something that I started doing above and beyond just Dave Ramsey was reading a lot more. You know, one of my favorite authors now is Patrick Lencioni. Justin, I think you're a big fan there.
Definitely a big fan.
Yeah. I mean, you built a business right around, you know, part of his methodologies, and so, you know, for me, it was really opening up my eyes to not look at just this narrow view of this micro business or small business that I'm starting, but how can I really care for each other? How can I care for my team? How can I further support them? Going back to those original years, this was somewhat of a hobby business when I started it. I was 22, 23, didn't really have a larger perspective of what I was going to do with this business. To me, I was creating a place for people to have a job, a short-term job, if that. And going back to my lack thereof leadership skills, more of the boss behind with the whip getting cracked. It was like, hurry up and get it done. I don't care. You want time off, get it done. And if you don't want to get it done, I'll go down the road and find somebody else that will. And so as that changed, I would say a big point to that was, the people I've surrounded myself with, and really finding the vision for this company is not a job. We don't have jobs here anymore. We have career paths. We have a place for you to grow. We have a place for you to settle your roots and retire. And now that we have that, I've taken the perspective of, okay, I'm looking at a staff member and I see a 2-year life expectancy I look at a staff member and I see a 30-year life expectancy. I see a 20-year life expectancy. And how are we going to grow, almost like a marriage of sorts as an employee here? How are we going to grow together, bond in unison here to effectively achieve the end result? That end result is providing safety and security to our local communities and through our clients. And it pivoting back is, really wanting that drive, wanting that change for the company and for our team. So
to add to that, I think the team is so critical to choose the right people on your team. And I think in the beginning, a lot of times we were just trying to fill, we needed a position, let's get it filled and move on. And what we discovered along the way was we had to find people with the core values that matched our own, that matched our vision of what we wanted to do. And that those first beginnings were challenging at times. We had a higher rate of turnover. But that since we discovered to get the right people on our team that have the same mission values as us, our team's never flown smoother. And it's a privilege to work along with our staff. It's great. And it's a dynamic change from when we began.
Yeah, the bus analogy is always one that Patrick uses, and what you're describing, it fits perfectly with that. It's like you gotta get the right people on the bus, you gotta get the wrong people off the bus, and you gotta get the right people in the right seats on the bus. And having those core values that are really clear, having that why, having the standards that you set for your team, making them feel like they have a career ahead of them and that you're aligning their strengths to their roles, all those pieces. You build your people, it's going to build your profits, and it's great to hear that you guys have really dialed in and bought into that process of organizational health, creating, success. So well done. That's wonderful to hear, guys.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a process, and on that note, Justin, it's not a set it and forget it. It's a constant maintenance. Yeah, I mean, the moment you take your foot off the gas, you're going to decelerate, and the next thing you know, you could find yourself back in the beginning. And that's something that we had a meeting about recently, of making sure that we're revisiting some of these processes and implementations that we put for culture, for management, for our team, for growth, et cetera, because it is a constant nurture to make sure we have a cohesive ship here. We're all going in the same direction that we want to go.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the ways that's so applicable is like you lose somebody, right? You lose somebody, you add somebody else. Just that concept, that one thing can take your team back into forming again, and you have to start building those, the 5 dysfunctions. You have to overcome those now with the new dynamics of the team, and got to build the trust. You got to be able to have that safety to have conflict that's healthy, right? All those different things. And it is a process. And if people leaders want to usually just set it up and then we're great, now let's move on to something else. But like you said, that's so wise that it's a maintenance thing. It's a living, breathing thing to keep that culture, that organization really healthy and high performing. So good stuff.
Yeah, kind of, to continue on and with the vision, would certainly love to have you guys share, where do you see MSC integration like 15, 20 years from now? Like what does that look like? One of the things I definitely appreciate is how you guys are really working to incorporate all these different components. Like, to you, success is more than just a monetary value, right? It's making sure that your clients are served well, that your team is served well, that you guys are all winning together in an engaged and productive manner. So, where's this company going?
Great question, Dominic. And that question, if you would have answered or asked that maybe 2 years ago, would have been drastically different than asking that question today. As the business continues to change based on trends and the industry need, right now, I would say that that's going to be a heavy footprint in the mobile sector of the business. In addition to that, I see, as the company continues to grow, it's going to be much more than just a service-based company providing a widget and a service. It's going to be connecting the communities together for safety and security abroad here in our communities, regionally in California. Some BHAGs that Michael and I have been working out right now, some big, hairy, audacious goals is what does that count in mobile units look like? I couldn't give you that number for the 10-year. 5 years, we're looking at about 500 units is our push right now, and then continuing to serve our communities. But I will tell you, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. We're going to stick to our roots here, a local family-owned and operated business, here to help our community and provide that safety that we all need. So,
awesome, Michael. Anything to add?
I think that was well said. We're here to stay. We're going to be a legacy business in this community, and hopefully expand our footprint where we can expand our services and our way of doing things. I think when new customers come on board and they learn, like, wow, you guys providing what we want, but in a different manner. We actually want to work with you. That's a huge thing to see from our customers. And this is a message I hear from my customers I work with is we like working with you. We're not forced to work with you. And that's a fundamental difference compared to a lot of other security firms out there.
Love it. One of the things that you guys highlighted was the importance of looking at each employee and making sure that they understand, like, hey, there's this opportunity for a long-term career path and being with the organization and contributing to the overall culture, the overall vision and progress. So what are you guys doing to help, develop, some of those employees, throughout their career?
Great question. Well, as technology evolves, by the time we're done with this call, we're going to have 3 new things that came out today, right, in security. But really, it's that continuous training and support, in our collaborative meetings as well as in our offsites that we do with our team. We're figuring out ways that they want to progress in the industry, maybe as technicians, as sales engineers, and what next steps that they aspire to be. Going back to the seats on the bus, depending on the individual, they have different goals and beliefs that they want to follow for their career path, and we're here to support them. So through connected meetings and touch and goes that we have with our staff, figuring out what direction they want to go, what do they want to specialize in, what is their next step, we're here to support them, and that's through continued education, through vendor credentialing, training, et cetera, for specific softwares and hardwares, and staying up on the cutting edge technology. And we have a gentleman who's certainly a pleasure to work with here, who he comes to me every few months and wants to know, what are we looking at, forecasting to look at, so he can get ahead of the curve, and he starts researching and finding things on it before we even bring it to the rest of the team. Because his goal is to be with Michael on the technology side and helping select new products and new offerings that we offer to our clients. And then we have others that they want to continue on the AI push and how that's going to help us in security. How can we use AI triggers and analytics to help enhance the site security for our clients? So I don't want to say it's all over the place how we're helping them get there, but we have different tracks for different individuals, and just making sure that we have clear communication with them to ensure that we're going to help meet their goals.
I think encouraging a atmosphere of being humble actually plays a big role in this. And I know that sounds kind of strange, right? But it really isn't. When we all take a humble approach to the technology, to what we do, we're never going to get to the point to say we know it all, because we don't. So continuously learning, we realize there's always something new. And that's among our staff, among ourselves, with our customers. It's all right to be wrong sometimes, because we're always learning. And by doing so, we're giving a greater benefit to our staff. We're promoting them to learn, knowing that we don't know everything. I'm the CTO of the company. Somebody comes here and talks to me, I don't care if they're their first day on the job or they've been here for years. I'm going to be wrong at times, and that's all right. And likewise, I promote that it's always all right to be wrong and to learn.
That brings up a really interesting point. Like, have you guys been already using the ideal team player model? Because what you just described is that model of how you bring that into your team. So is that good?
Oh,
Yeah, I was
absolutely.
gonna
Hungry, humble, smart model absolutely works.
100%.
And,
It's amazing.
to add to that, Justin, the ideal team player is given out to every hire at this company. So we did a book club years ago with those that were existing, where we didn't necessarily force them, but I think we had 80 to 90% success rate on those that either listened to it or read it. But now it's part of your onboarding packet. You're going to get that book. Sometimes it gets handed back and then we give them the license to go listen to it. I'm a big paperback kind of guy. I like to feel it, touch it, smell it, read it when it comes to reading. But yeah, we give it out with every new hire in their onboarding packet, the ideal team player.
Well, it's great. The story is kind of construction technical, kind of the where Napa, it's local, so it's like kind of has probably some elements to the story that would be attractive, and they would relate to some of those things with some of the guys who are more on the technical side of things. So, but it's such a great book and a great model. And what's so cool is when you're building leaders, servant leaders are just ideal team players who move up into a leadership role. So if you want those like responsibility based ideal team players, servant leaders in your organization, build them up as ideal team players and then elevate them to leadership. So it's such a symbiotic thing with how you guys, it sounds like you're already building your next generation of leaders. So well done.
Excellent. Well, anything else that you guys would like to highlight, or anything I may have missed?
Come join us in the SAC Century 2025. We need some more riders. Go support the cause here. Sacramento Rotary Club and the Women and Children's Nursery, Crisis Nursery. So that's what I'm going to push.
Yeah, excellent. And where can people find you?
Here. No, I'm kidding. You can find us online at mrsecuritycameratrailers.com, mscintegration.com, or on social media. I believe we're Facebook, LinkedIn, and I believe. I'm not sure.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, we both really enjoyed and loved our conversation with you today. And so, yeah, thanks so much for carving out time and beyond, and kind of share what you guys are building. Really excited to see what this next chapter holds for not only you, but your staff members and the community as a whole. Really, I think highlights the importance of the community winning together as a team, and just great to be part of this overall journey with you all.